What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel. If you're just getting here, please hit a subscribe down there for us. I would greatly appreciate it here on the channel. Today's video is going to be about shining coons for young dogs, or shining coons for dogs that need to get rolling. I'll just call it shining coons for puppies. So this is something that is very good thing to do. I mean, you can keep a dog locked in, you can keep it up on its training, you can keep it locked in and aware of what a coon is. So if we have, we're in a stage of training to where we're kind of in a gray area. We're in a lull of the training, right? Because we have the lulls in between the peaks of seeing the coon, getting the drags, getting the woods time. So when we're in these lulls, then this is a good time to get out there and get something shined for a pup. What I will say is maybe one or two times it's okay to shine something and take your dog right to the tree and put the dog on the tree and get it to the tree and then knock something down for it. But maybe one time is all we're going to do, or two times is all we're going to do in this case, because really the effectiveness of us shining coons and knocking coons down to a dog definitely diminishes when we're the ones physically showing the dog where the tree is. We can get a lot more benefits and a lot more productivity out of this if we shine a coon and then we just send a dog really close up in there, you know, depending on what level, how far out your dog actually hunt, at whatever stage that it's at, get it casted pretty close to the tree and give it a full chance to push the track out of there and make it back to the tree and just figure it out and just really make sure that we're completely 100% sure that this dog isn't going to tree this coon on its own. We can get them in the general vicinity and then launch them from there. This is kind of like us helping them along and making their job a lot easier. So maybe they will click a process and get a full thing ingrained in them to where they just click and go. So shining coons for the young dogs. Number one, if we do get a dog that will actually tree up on its own without help, or we've got a dog to actually tree on that tree, then we're going to want to take all the precautions and leash our dog back and knock the coon out dead and etc, 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 because we don't ever want a negative association in the dog on the tree with coons coming down and etc, etc, etc. Maybe I'll make a video about one dog in particular that had one bad experience on a tree and didn't come up with another tree for over a year. And it was very just seemingly nothing. But we want to make sure that if we have a younger dog and a dog that has never seen a coon before, that we want to try to make sure that this is the goodest thing and has a lot of positive reinforcement behind this happening. We never want to shoot coons down fighting to a dog that is just finding out what a tree is and what the coon is for the very first time. We want to shoot them out dead or twitching. Some dogs get put off by them twitching and don't even want to put their mouth on it. I would definitely want to accomplish that stage too, is we want our dog to physically mouth and put its mouth on a coon, because if they won't even put their mouth on it, we can't expect them to tree it. We can't expect them to bark at it. I know that there is a comment on the channel, a guy with your 7-month-old, I would recommend you do this, is knock a couple coons down to this dog and then see how he acts after that. It gets into a funny place. Some dogs, now I'm gonna say some dogs, and I mean a very select few amount of dogs that I have ever come across that are this way. They will not, absolutely will not bark at a drag. They will absolutely not bark at a dead coon. They will not bark at anything unless it's living. They are not dumb enough to fall for the dirty tricks of that thing's dead and pointless. So there's very few select dogs that I've come across. I thought Cash was going to be that way, and it took me a month to break him down to get him to bark at a dead coon. But I will say, there is dogs out there, man, that unless that thing's moving, breathing, fighting, and doing its thing, right, and they can't, and they know it's dead, they're not going to bark at it unless it's a live thing. So we have very few select dogs that are that way. So don't, like I said, it's so easy to paint a big brush. I don't want to paint a big brush on every dog. We have to be aware, and we have to know our dog, and we have to have a good idea and a lot of things in our checkbook and our checklist that we go down and say, it's not this, 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 it's not this. He must be this dog where he needs that. Because there's, like I said, there's 100 different ways to do 100 different things, and there's 100 different things to get done. So it's kind of dog training, especially coonhound training. It is a lot of pulling little bits of knowledge from all different kinds of places for a specific dog and getting something put in place for that dog that that dog will actually respond to. For the most part, a lot of dogs are pretty much on par, and a lot of the same things will work for a lot of the same dogs. But every once in a while, we get that cog in the wheel. This dog has this one little flub in it. This dog has this one little stubborn streak in it. And then we have to build from there. Shining coons and knocking coons down for a young dog, definitely recommend it. Definitely say go for it. I would limit how much and how frequently that we actually do this. If we have a dog that's already treed one and then it's not treed for a very long time, then it may be able to. But I wouldn't recommend, after a dog's actually done its job, to knock one down that it hasn't treed on its own. With that being said, I have no shout outs in this video because I pre-recorded, but keep them treed, guys.